I'm just going to say me, and then you're just going to jump in and say you. Will you save me with that? I'll introduce me in the show, and then you say, and me, I'm here too.
Yeah, I will. I'll save you. I'll catch you.
We can do something different. Can we do something
I don't
different?
even know. We need a writer.
I had to do these terrible... I'm supposed to be the writer.
Oh, no.
Thanks.
Well, welcome back to Histories Uncharted, folks. It's Shanna and Cecilia. Anyways, I'm super excited to get to the good part of this guy's story. I mean, I guess it's not really the good part. It's
the Romanized part.
It's the Romanized part.
What we did to it. Yeah.
And you know what, Romans...
They do stuff to things.
They crazy.
They're fun.
They be killing their own people on purpose.
Again, welcome back. This is episode number 3 in our Bacchanalia, Dionysus sort of series, trilogy, conversation about the god, the dude, the man, the myth, the cult.
Surprise!
The worshipping practices of some crazy folks.
Yes.
That's what we're focusing on here in episode 3 is the Dionysian mysteries and all of these interesting things. We've talked about him as a god. We've talked about his origin stories, all of his baby chunks. Now, we are going to quickly recap like Dionysus. He has been studied firmly around the 7th century BCE, but there is evidence of him as far back as like 1500 BCE in Mycenaean and Minoan Crete, back in the olden days of some old-ass Greeks. Say, he started off Greek, and now we are around the year 200 BCE approximately, and we're seeing what the Romans are doing with this Greek god and how they turn it to their own salacious needs and desires.
It's a very human thing to do.
Totes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do, right?
It is.
We take
over and over and over again.
We take your thing and then we make it mine and then we make it dirty. We're going to talk about this cult now, which is, and we hear the word cult nowadays and you think about Kool-Aid drinkers and charismatic leaders that are stealing your money from you and pyramid schemes and then killing you.
Right.
And that's really what it was back then, too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Only they had a very religious vibe to it. I guess cults today. Some may have religious vibes or alien vibes. Or
yeah, there's always some sort
vibes.
Of spiritual undertone to
vibe
it.
To
yes.
It. Yes.
Always.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Any documentaries that I've watched, that is a common denominator.
Charismatic leaders and causes definitely draws those for interesting things.
Well, it sounds like Dionysus would be prime candidate.
Yeah,
as a cult leader,
guy.
For reals.
Yeah,
with some questionable practices.
So we want to just quickly remind everyone about that play that was written by Euripides a long time ago that established that he went and made the women of this town go God crazed, and they, threw their hair down and tore their shirts off and ran around killing goats and whipping people and having a good old time. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what it means to, Bacchic desires, going crazy, the God craze.
He became a verb. I love that.
He did. He became a verb by the act of the ecstasy, the release of conformity, of society's restraints. You have to remember that the Greeks and the Romans are very class associated.
Yes.
So people are very strictly born into their place, sold into their place, forced into their place without a lot of choice.
Well, and that clarifies a lot for me too, because Dionysus really did play with that in the tellings of his stories. And many of them was his shift from being a demigod to being reborn as a god.
A god.
And you know, the changing of class.
The changing of
And
roles
position in society,
and,
yeah.
birth, rebirth, change, wine, vines, revelry. It transitions. All of these are kind of associated.
Start to see
with
those
him.
threads pull into.
And if you are living your life in such a strict society,
oh yeah,
the thought of freedom, of transitions, of fluidity, of inhibitions, that would be very appealing.
I agree.
To everyone. If you're a slave all day, wouldn't you want to fucking party at least once a month?
And his, like, you know, his whole shtick was to get you to go and experience those wildest desires
and get closer to God, because that's how you get closer to God, and that ecstasy of eternity and Olympus and everlasting, you know, the
vibes.
ambrosia.
I like this. All right.
Yeah. All right. So this religious cult that they established is called the Dionysian Mysteries. Yeah, very Bacchic. Greece, Rome, sometimes they would use intoxicants like wine, like dancing, like music, anything that, again, removes those inhibitions and allows people to be free, and they throw in their hair and they're running around naked, having fun. So this was very alluring to those in society that were the most restricted. The slaves, the whores, the, you know, shop merchants, lower class.
Right.
Outlaws. Naughty folk.
Hey now.
Rich, spoiled, wanting something new and exhilarating. That's also allurant.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently, early Greek and Roman wine was not as strong as it is today. Maybe their brewing techniques or types of grapes, or maybe they just didn't have as much chemicals and toxic agents that we have today to make it as high in alcohol content. To reach that level of ecstasy, you're not going to get it off of what are those wine coolers like? That's
the
ice cream.
Seabreeze and
it's not Ben and Jerry's. Who are the wine dudes?
Galloway.
I don't know.
Well, Galloway is a wine. I like
Bartles
Seabreeze.
Bartles
and James.
That's
the
what
Jamaica Me Crazies and the Screwdrivers.
Yeah, you're not going to reach like ecstatic levels of debauched revelry and pulling animals to pieces.
No, that's 151 behavior right there.
Yeah, and with a little cocaine and maybe a little angel dust or something. You know what I mean? Like, you got to step that up a notch. So they think, because they've found evidence on like pottery shards and images that are left over, that they use certain intoxicants. They added it to the wine. They have images of people adding something to the wine. You never know. Now, you don't really know what they are adding, because to be in this cult, it was super secret.
Ooh.
The first rule of the Dionysian Mysteries is you do not talk about the Dionysian Mysteries.
Okay.
All right. So there is no recipe. There is no, this is what we did.
Right. Because like ancient Egyptians with their psychedelic use, like they straight up have pictures of mushrooms.
They have the recipes written down.
Things.
Yeah.
But this is too far back in history. It was super secret in the first place. We have nothing. That's really sad.
You keep it super secret. You don't talk about it. So we have no, like I said, there are some images and you just see them adding something to the wine. You don't know what it is. There are no recipes. But what is prevalent in that area at that time are poppy seeds, bushes.
Ooh, some opium.
Yeah, if any of you are familiar with the poppy.
Hey now. Or laying down in a field of poppies.
Yeah, so that
Wizard of
can
Oz
be,
style.
opium can be derived from this, and then from opium, heroin can later down in our history be derived from this.
Right.
So those could possibly be the intoxicants that they are adding to their wine coolers to get wild and rowdy. But I think if you decide that you're going to go somewhere to just let it all hang out, I think you're just going to go let it all hang out.
It also, poppy, I don't know, with that, it's very, very suppressant.
Yeah, I was going to say, most aren't heroin addicts and opium dens just a bunch of people laying around like drooling on themselves and shit?
Correct. Yeah. Sounds kind of like a date rape drug to me experience.
Well, that's
I
Greek.
don't know.
That is Greek for you.
That's very and Roman.
Romans enjoyed that as well. So I don't know if you're an opium user and you feel like you're strong as 10 men. See, that's angel dust to me. PCP, not meth, maybe cocaine.
Right. There might have been some other additives. I mean, uppers and downers and,
It's got to be something. They added some secret magic.
There are lots of things out in the world that in large enough doses will cause people to run around naked in the woods and along the beaches and
and they did it. They started a whole religion around it,
worshiping gods.
They ran around, they drank, they partied, they had lots of sex. They liked to sacrifice things back in Greece and Rome. It is how you showed your love to the gods, that you are willing to give up that which is valuable to you in their name.
No, like things. We're talking like animals, people, everything. All of it.
Well,
all the things.
What's valuable to you? What would you give up? Right? So maybe if you're a goat herder and this brings in your income, then sacrificing a goat is taking away food from my family. That is a big sacrifice. So animals, goats, bulls were very common. Maybe I burn my jewelry. Maybe I sacrifice my neighbor.
Ooh.
What would you sacrifice to your god, Cecilia?
I don't know. I don't really vibe with that. In Cecilia's religion, there is no reason to sacrifice really anything.
How do you show your devotion then? That's generally what sacrifice is for, is to show how devoted you are.
Y'all, I really do understand the physicalness of it. Yeah. I am a firm believer that you can process and practice within the mind. I don't think you need to sacrifice physical things of life.
No tithing
to
for
commune with your gods.
Yeah.
I feel like meditation and connection, perfectly adequate. That's enough for me.
I like that.
Yeah. I find gratitude practicing my appreciation.
I think demonstrating random acts of kindness to others is kind of showing.
My gods would be offended by a goat head.
Oh, yeah.
They would be.
Yeah. They would.
A little mortified. I'm not down with
what
like
are you doing,
Zeus
killing my goat?
and
like,
Hera
I made
and
that
this
goat.
dynamic.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into that because we're going to talk about partying.
Boop, boop.
Okay, so those of you that are regular listeners might recall that Cecilia and I once talked about Barbara masks.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a way callback.
Our wild Barbaras.
Christmas.
It was.
Terrible Christmas tales.
Yeah.
And we ended up making Barbara masks, each of us.
Staring at Shannon's creepy one right
mine's
now.
Mine's really creepy. Hers came out really cool. They would also wear ritualistic masks. Sometimes they would have Dionysus present during their worshiping practices, looking on over their revelries.
Oh, okay.
Like in the version, it's weird. They were just like, whatever, it's cool. Just take that pole over there and then put a mask on him and we'll just say that that's him. You know what I mean? So you just use what you have around. There's a log over there. Throw a mask on him. That's the god. He's representing him. Now let's get...
Right. Little elf on the shelf moment.
Exactly. Now
Dionysus on the log.
Yeah, so that's what they did. And then, of course, they would eat, drink, and get down.
Hey.
So, now we get to the Bacchanalias. This becomes an established religion that begins with women. Again, we go back to that Euripides, the Bacchae.
Yeah.
It's the women that worship him the most. Again, because you have that lifting of societal restrictions and loosening of inhibitions, and women were definitely restricted.
Yeah, they were.
A lot.
And the crack in the wall.
Yeah. So their priestesses were called the Maenads. This means to rave, to be mad, to rage. And so they're often portrayed on the vases or the artwork or, whatever, in this crazed moment. Right? I like to equate it to Beatlemania.
Ooh, yes.
They just get so overwhelmed with the excitement of seeing them, they would literally pass out.
Yes.
They're crying, they're ecstatic, they're happy, they're sad, they're overwhelmed. Add some PCP into that, and these bitches are running around naked pulling up tree stumps. Like, this is it.
Yo. All right. No, I'm here for that. That's wild.
So that's the
But
Maenads.
I get it. He's the OG Beatle. All right.
Just that crazed
Yeah.
sensation from a person.
Absolutely.
Or a god,
And if this is something that you get to celebrate like every year, like as just a societal, like cultural norm, like I'm sure you get really into this.
Right?
Gotta be really fun.
Okay, so who dresses up for Halloween? And like that's your annual time to go out and you do whatever your heart desires.
Absolutely.
This is it exactly.
Oh, I dig it. All right.
Yeah. So it starts, in this yearly tradition, like you said, and around Saturnalia and in that time period.
Okay.
Because you're getting so naughty and you're breaking so many rules and laws, mostly, you need to do this in privacy, right? You do secret places. It's in the mountains. It's in caves. It's at night. Well, actually, it starts in the day. Very May Day when it begins with the women. And then later on, men become involved. And that's when it's really debaucherized.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, dudes always come in and just smash a good lady party, don't they?
Yeah. And that's when it turns like orgy, nighttime,
Right.
really naughty. So in the beginning, it's women loosening their traditions and playing with vines and dancing with flowers and killing some goats in a beautiful afternoon.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great afternoon with the ladies for reals.
It's girls' day out, like the brunch. It's the brunch with a little goat killing and some naked running.
I love it.
Yeah. And then dudes get involved later on and it turns into this crap, which becomes illegal.
That's why there's opium in the drinks.
Oh, you bastards.
Yep. Oh. Dang it. I always just ruin it, don't I? I'm so sorry. Moving on.
You always remind us of our realities.
Right. Boys, you guys have just historically sucked. We're like 200 BCE, yo.
Yeah, we were really suppressed back then.
For
realsies.
Like
we said, annually, maybe on the solstice, so a couple times a year. And then once it becomes the full-on Bacchanalia, it literally becomes like this sexual free-for-all 5 times a month. So this is a weekly affair.
Like a Saturday night?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if it's like a Wednesday?
I mean, they say to take Wednesdays off to feel the most rested. If you're going to like take a day off during the week to like recharge, refresh.
Hump day.
Take hump day off. There's a reason it's called hump day.
New meanings to it.
Okay, now
has some meanings.
I'm here for it. I actually want to know what weekday
did they do this? I don't know if it was
right.
Okay, so we'll never know because their rites and practices were so secret.
Ugh,
I know. There's no
that's why we'll never know.
Initiation book or anything. We are about to get into the nitty-gritty of the legal side of the Bacchanalia and courts and trials and what happens with Romans. So you kind of know what you're doing now. They're doing dirty things. They're having lots of fun. They're moving it from 3 times a year to 5 times a month. And this is dangerous because if you live in a society that depends on strict control of your population.
Yeah.
So you don't have a police force. You just have like the dude in charge. He's got some guards. He's got some soldiers. But basically, these are thousands and hundreds of thousands of the populace, the people that you are trying to control and rule over that can swarm you at any time. The masses, right? So you have to have real strict guidelines with your societal structures to make sure everyone stays in place and does what they're supposed to do. So if you have this group of people that keep sneaking away, they're breaking the rules, everyone knows that they're doing this. Everyone knows that they're violating your laws. So what are you going to do about it? They're having fun, they're doing what they're not supposed to be doing, and you can't let this happen. Or you're going to start losing control. Because if you let that slide, what else are you going to let slide?
Right.
Maybe we can start taking your territory and, whatever. So,
it's very Dionysus vibes because that was very much like their thoughts too, that this young up and start, he's wild and crazy. He's all about free love and sex and non-societal norms. And I want to come home and you guys owe me. You need to take care of me. It's this, again, that poor rich dynamic just kind of being played out again.
And control. It's always about
the control.
So, in 186 BCE, the Senate declared that the Bacchanalias are not okay.
No parties.
No more parties.
No more parties, guys.
So, what we mostly know about this time and this event, okay, because this is an event that happens in the real world, court cases and trials and executions and the murders of all of these people. What we know most about it from their sources is this dude, Livy. Okay, so he's a Roman historian, but one thing that we always have to remember when we're talking about ancient shenanigans is he is writing about it 200 years after the fact. So he wasn't there. His daddy wasn't there. His granddaddy wasn't there. Okay. We're hearing about this story from a dude 200 years later. So let's take all of that with a big old grain of salt. Okay. Right. And I guess with every episode, please forgive.
And he was Roman.
My pronunciations. He was Roman.
Roman historian.
But he's writing about Roman history because this is when the Romans take the Greek god, mutate it into their own needs, and then make it dirty.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a little bit of fun with some of these names.
It's cool.
Starting with this dude. Okay, so this is Abutius. Isn't that the funnest?
Abutius. I'll go with Abutius.
Yep, that's
I'm here for it. All right.
Okay, so his dad dies. His dad's a soldier. He dies. It happens a lot. His mom remarries, as we all have to do, or we, die. We have to have someone to take care of us. So she remarries this dude, and this new family dynamic does not want young Abutius because, well, he's not this guy's kid. No one wants some other dude's kid.
So they kick Abutius out.
Well, they're like,
sorry.
They're like, either we got to kill him or we need to blackmail him. We need to we need to make him dependent on us. We need to know something dirty about him so that he will be loyal to us. Does that make sense? It's how the Romans thought.
I'm just not really appreciating this whole children are extensions of you vibe here. That we are. But carry on.
Okay, so
Abutius, this poor kid.
Poor Abutius.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, he's probably 17 to 21 is what I'm picturing in my mind here. Okay. He's not 7.
He's like some young...
He could be 7 when his dad dies.
That makes me feel...
Maybe he's 7 when his dad dies, but when this is happening, he's a man.
He's a man.
So, how are we going to get dirt on him or, make him do dirty things?
Make him do dirty things.
They're going to trick him into doing dirty things so they have dirt on him. So they're like, what is the dirtiest thing in town? the Bacchanalia.
Hey.
So we're going to get you initiated into the Bacchanalic rites and into the mysteries, and you're going to be a part of this group. And he's like, okay, all right, that sounds cool. So they're like, cool. So next Saturday, this is what we're doing. And so he's like, awesome. And the first thing he does is he goes to his girlfriend's house, who happens to be his neighbor. His neighbor is also a freed woman, so she's a former slave, and she is also a well-known courtesan. Now, for courtesan, please insert
prostitute.
Yes.
Whore. Okay. All right.
Courtesan means she's paid more or has cleaner clients.
She's the fancy prostitute.
Yeah. She's freed woman. She owns her own house. She has gotten to a position where everyone knows that she's a whore, but she's allowed to walk down the street and she's allowed to own property. So she is in a position that she has worked very, very hard for.
Right. She can't be helped. Just let her be.
Please forgive this. It's Hispalia Facinia.
Facinia? Faye?
Facinia. I like Facinia. That sounds very correct. I told you I'm terrible at this, people.
Hispala Facinia.
Hispala Facinia.
She sounds beautiful. That's a beautiful name.
I like Facinia. I'm going to keep focus on that.
Too.
Okay,
yeah.
so he goes, yo, Facinia, chick I'm banging. My parents just told me. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I took a drink right when she said that. I almost died, guys. Okay.
I come with warning labels.
Sure do.
So this is what my parents are going to do for me. This is going to be awesome. This Saturday, they're going to take, as I just said that sentence out loud, he got excited about going to a drunken orgy with his parents.
Sounds very Roman.
His parents invited their son to a drunken orgy. To get dirt on him.
Right?
As opposed to killing him.
Mom did this too. Mom.
Yeah, dad's dead. Mom and stepdad.
Mom and stepdad.
Yeah. And so she goes, no, I have been a sex slave and sex mistress of a lot of high-placed important people through my years as a courtesan and as a whore and a sex slave. And previous mistresses and masters have taken me to these events.
Right.
Because I'm their slave.
She's in this realm. She knows what's up.
She's been to them.
Knows what's up, guys.
She's like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. This is not where you want to do. In fact, she even says, it would better that you and I were dead than you go to these Bacchic rites and rituals, because it's going to tarnish your name and reputation. Yeah. You might not survive. There's lots of dirty details and dark secrets about it as well. Right. So she's like, this is not cool. But don't do it.
Abutius, honestly, we know all about this, but Abutius sees these Bacchic rites, and it's like this don't ask, don't tell. We don't talk about what actually happens.
I don't know, and it's got this allure, this mystery.
Yes.
Studio 51, you know.
Absolutely.
You know things are going down. You know everyone's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know it's naughty. You know people that are suspected of doing it are tainted in society. I don't know. It's got a lot of allure
and mystery to it.
Yeah, and that's literally why it's called the Dionysian Mysteries.
For reals.
Okay, so he's like, okay, Booty, I got you. Abutius said, girl, I got you. And so he goes back to mom and stepdad and says, I've talked about it and I'm not going to do it. I've discussed this with my girlfriend and we're not going to do this. Mm-hmm. And they freak out on him and they kick him out of the house. And to do this means that you're like, it's really hard to explain Roman society. When you are a person's son, you don't have your own income. You live as their ward. Even if you're 25, you are their child, and him kicking him out means he has no home, he has no money, he has no prospects.
Yeah. It
is a death sentence. He might have to sell himself into slavery. This could have some really serious consequences of losing your ward. the ward losing
your home. Yeah. It's losing your family. Like, it's losing your family name. You essentially become disowned. You become an orphan in the world.
Even at 25 or 27, the word orphan or adopting adults is really weird, but Romans did it all the time. They would adopt their adult men into their lives, and you would become their ward. Even the word princeps, which is the name of the emperor and stuff, means first man. It was the first man of the country, of the household, of the whatever.
You're always dropping knowledge. Got random facts.
I'm really weird about that. Yeah,
you are.
They come out at weird times, folks.
That's the best part.
At least this one was appropriate,
right?
He gets kicked out of the house, and he says, "Fine, you know what? Screw this." And he goes and he turns him in to the courts and to the Senate. And he goes, "I and my girlfriend have information about these Bacchic rites. I know people that go. For a fact. I know for a fact people that go." And immediately the girlfriend is, I don't want to say arrested with the Romans, but they're not nice.
They are not received well.
Yeah. She is dragged from her home before this group of men and said, "You, former prostitute, just a woman, tell us what you know." And she goes, "You know what? You're really intimidating, and this is scary as shit. But I won't. I am more scared of A, pissing off the gods and narking out their secrets, and B, pissing off the influential people that go to these things, and they will kill me for ratting them out."
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Yes.
And she says, "I will only talk to you if you will guarantee I can be exiled. Get me out of Italy, not just Rome, Italy, and away from these highly powerful, influential people, because they will kill me if I testify against them."
Right.
And immediately they say, no.
You're just a stupid whore woman.
And in fact, if you don't talk, we are going to formally charge you with these crimes of the Bacchic rites, and then you will be held to the punishment of them.
Okay.
And so she goes, okay, maybe I will talk. So she ends up talking, but she does at least secure for herself and Abutius a guarantee that we will keep you safe. All right. So they do move Facinia and Abutius out of their homes and into a senator's home where they have some sort of protection. And there they stay throughout the rest of this trial, which does take a while. So at least the Senate does honor that and kind of protect the state witnesses. They went into Witsec. Except everyone knew that they were in Senator Plebius's villa at the end of the road. And everybody knows that she narked.
Love that. But you wouldn't dare cross the dude who was protecting them. So therefore they were
correct. While they were under that protection, they were safe.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they went that route, you know. Knowing what we know about like Zeus and Hera, that they're myths and stuff.
Yeah.
Grateful that she went that route of saving her life right now, as opposed to what some gods might do
later. So. Yeah.
Way to go, girl.
Okay. So she sits down, and this is her official testimony according to some dude 200 years later.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So initiates are brought to the gathering place, whether it's a meadow or a cave or whatever, because these are at night. Mm-hmm. And they're brought into this large circle, and they're surrounded by people on our sides that are beating drums, and they're playing like flutes, and you know, and they're chanting and they're singing and they're rhythmically dancing, and they're imbibing of drinks and intoxicants of all kinds. And it says that these initiates, she calls them victims, are brought before the priests, and okay. So literally the screams and the howls and the banging of the drums cover the screams of the initiates while they're being raped by the priests in front of everyone. So to submit to these Bacchic rites, you have to submit to the priests. And then you're basically passed around.
Right.
And that is the inhibitions that are removed. This it's really hard to explain.
I could come up with some modern terms for that, but that sounds horrific.
Yeah. It says that one of the main important beliefs and practices of the priest, the priestess, the followers, whatever, is to think that you can do no wrong. There is no wrong. If you are satisfying your basest needs,
right,
to eat, to drink, to fuck, to whatever, then that can't be wrong because that is the need that you are meeting.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
At the expense of other human beings.
Exactly. And that's okay because
there are
no wrongs.
Right.
There are no wrongs. And even if they're witnessing someone being brutalized, torn to pieces, beaten, raped, whatever it is, during these ecstatic, drunk, drug-induced hazes,
right?
You're like, no, it's cool because that's what happens here. Okay. And it could happen to you every time you walk into that circle. Isn't that interesting to think about?
Yeah, I wonder what the allure of being an initiative, like initiated into that is.
Right.
I guess.
Facinia does say that there are lots and lots of high-ranking men and women in these groups and in these cults, but as the priests and priestesses, right,
they are the people that are leading this.
Yeah.
Right.
But a few years ago, they apparently decided that they will no longer take initiates that are over the age of 20 because they want to make sure that they get them young enough and they could corrupt them and do, naughty things. So if you get in a grown man, he's set in his ways and he's going to be like, whoa, yo, you're not raping me. Like, that's
oh my God,
that's not okay.
Yeah.
I'm a freed Roman citizen. I am the raper. I am not the rapee.
I am not being initiated into this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they start taking men or boys younger and younger so that they could corrupt them.
Right. And then you probably start to have this dynamic of it's similar to what we have going on today of the groups of people that are involved. And then there are the groups of people that are not involved.
Yes.
That are both at the top. And that can be a very weird
dynamic.
Strange, confusing dynamic.
Because if you're in the know and you know who's naughty, but if you're not in the know, you suspect everyone. Wouldn't that be interesting?
But you suspect no one. These are your peers. How could they possibly?
I don't know. Okay, so that's such a good point.
Right? But it's got to be everybody that you are not associated with.
Everyone but me, right?
Yes.
Because you're a highborn man and you're high ranking, so you would never debase yourself like that.
Or you were a high ranking who was born into the debasement and that's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun.
It is a weird dynamic. But I mean, I swear to God, people, not a conspiracy theorist, but like this is the same dynamic that we are experiencing now with the haves. And
when you have haves and you have nots and you have people that are in power doing secret dirty things, you automatically go, what are these secret dirty things? You start thinking the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
Instantly, you go directly to the worst. And the worst is these people are meeting together to conspire against me. They're conspiring against this form of politics. They're going to overthrow the government. They are going to whatever. So they start having these conspiracy theories pop up. And instantly, the Bacchic rites are plots to kill influential political people, and the courts are like, this is not okay. Okay. They don't appreciate it happens at night. They're mingling males and females. They're mingling the young and the old. They are not modest. They are not virtuous. They are not being okay. So they begin to think that it's weird, making wills and forging seals and doing legal shenanigans and stuff like that. So now, like, they give wink winks at the court and the ledgers, and because they both know that they're Bacchic people, they're like allowing permits to go through and kind of like the mobs and unions and corruption, just general corruption, because they're drinking and having sex.
The story is old as time, my friends. Humans are so weird, so complicated and fragile.
So the same. This is
so the same.
200 BCE, and we could be talking about the Trump administration at this time. With our rape islands and our pedophile presidents, we are in the same boat as we have always been.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that we're going to stop here, and then we're going to finish up in episode 4. Again, thank you so much if you've listened to all 3 of our episodes and our ramblings about the Bacchanalia.
I think it's been incredibly interesting. It's fun. I love history and the parallels that we see.
I agree.
It's the best.
So we're going to come back next time, episode 4. We're going to wrap everything up. What happens after she drops all of these truth bombs, and now they go crazy thinking that there's conspiracy theories everywhere. So next episode is nothing but murder, treachery, executions, and conspiracy theories.
Very Roman.
Very Roman and very us.
Heck yeah.
So from all of us at Histories Uncharted, we will see you next time.
Okay, bye.